Life is hard, and no matter how much money you make, how successful you become, or how much positivity you practice, life will always throw challenges your way. Now, if you've ever read traditional self-help books, you've probably been told to believe in yourself, think positive, and manifest your dream life. But let's be real, sometimes life doesn't work that way. Sometimes you try your best, and things still fall apart. That's where Mark Manson comes in with his book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving AF***CK. Instead of telling you to chase happiness, he argues that happiness comes from embracing struggle, pain, and failure. His message is raw, blunt, and filled with humor, but beneath the swearing and sarcasm is some of the most practical wisdom you'll ever find. In this deep dive, I'm going to walk you through the book's biggest lessons, break them down with real-life examples, highlight what makes it different from every other self-help book, and share who this book is really for. Stick around, because this book may just change the way you look at life. About the author and background. Mark Manson didn't start out as a best-selling author. He began as a blogger, writing brutally honest posts about life, relationships, and personal growth. His style was unique, sarcastic, funny, and filled with profanity, but always deeply relatable. By the time The Subtle Art of Not Giving AF***CK came out in 2016, Manson already had a large following online. The book blew up almost overnight, selling over 10 million copies worldwide, and has since been translated into dozens of languages. Why did it resonate so much? Because Manson wasn't sugarcoating anything. He wasn't promising overnight success or eternal happiness. Instead, he admitted that life is messy, and he gave us permission to stop caring about all the wrong things. Core lessons from the book. Let me break down the core lessons one by one. Lesson 1. Life is limited. Choose wisely. Manson starts with a simple truth. We all have limited time, energy, and attention. You can't give AF***CK about everything. The trick is to carefully choose what you do care about. Think about it. Every day, we're bombarded with distractions, social media likes, career comparisons, toxic news, other people's opinions. If you try to care about everything, you'll end up drained and anxious. Instead, Manson argues, focus on what truly matters. Ask yourself, which struggles am I willing to endure? Which values really matter to me? For example, imagine two people. One obsesses over Instagram likes. The other invests their time in building deeper friendships. At the end of the day, who feels more fulfilled? Exactly, the one who chose to care about something meaningful. This is the foundation of the book. Stop wasting energy on things that don't matter, so you can focus on the few things that truly do. Lesson 2. Happiness comes from solving problems. Here's a harsh truth. Life will never be free of problems. You'll solve one problem, and another will take its place. Manson says happiness doesn't come from avoiding problems, but from solving the right ones. For example, if you hate your job, the problem isn't that work exists. The problem is that you're stuck doing work you don't find meaningful. If you choose to take the risk of pursuing a different career, you'll still face problems, financial struggles, stress, uncertainty, but at least they're problems you've chosen. Think about athletes. Training for a marathon is painful. Blisters, sore muscles, exhaustion. But those struggles bring fulfillment because they're tied to a meaningful goal. So the question isn't, how do I live without problems? The question is, what problems am I willing to fight for? That's where real happiness is found. Lesson 3. Responsibility over blame. Manson makes a critical distinction. You are not always at fault for what happens to you, but you are always responsible for how you respond. Let's say you're walking to work and a reckless driver splashes muddy water all over your clothes. That's not your fault, but your response, whether you curse the driver all day or laugh it off and move forward, is your responsibility. By taking responsibility, you reclaim control. You stop waiting for the world to change and instead focus on what you can do. This idea is liberating because it means no matter how unfair life is, you always have the power to choose your response. Lesson 4. You are not special. One of the most controversial lessons in the book is this. You are not special. Our culture tells us we're all extraordinary, destined for greatness, and entitled to a special life. Manson argues this mindset creates disappointment and entitlement. If you believe you're destined to be exceptional, you'll constantly feel like a failure when life doesn't measure up. Instead, accept that you're average at most things. And that's okay. True meaning doesn't come from being the best. It comes from embracing your reality and making the best of it. Ironically, once you accept being average, you free yourself to excel in the areas that truly matter to you. Lesson 5. The value of saying no. Another subtle art in this book is learning to say no. If you try to please everyone, you'll end up pleasing no one, including yourself. Boundaries are essential. Saying no to the wrong things creates space for the right things. For example, if you constantly say yes to extra work, you'll burn out and have no time for your personal life. But if you set limits, you can give your best to the areas you've chosen to care about. Think of your time and energy like a bank account. If you spend recklessly, you'll go broke. But if you budget wisely, you'll thrive. Lesson 6. Death puts life in perspective. Finally, Manson reminds us of something most people avoid thinking about: death. It sounds grim, but when you realize life is temporary, it forces you to prioritize what matters. Many people on their deathbed don't regret failure. They regret not living authentically, not speaking their truth, not spending enough time with loved ones. Manson challenges us. If you knew you were going to die soon, what would you stop caring about immediately? Petty arguments? Social status? Other people's approval? By facing death, you learn how to truly live. Writing style and tone. Now let's talk about how the book is written. Manson's style is blunt, sarcastic, and filled with profanity. Some people find this refreshing, others find it abrasive. But it works because it cuts through the fluff of traditional self-help. Instead of flowery language, he speaks directly to you, almost like a friend giving you tough love over coffee. The book is also filled with personal stories, humor, and references to philosophy and psychology. In many ways, it's Stoic philosophy for the modern age, delivered in a way that's easy to understand and hard to forget. Strengths of the book. Fresh perspective. It challenges the toxic positivity that dominates the self-help world. Practical wisdom. Instead of giving you endless motivational speeches, it teaches you how to think differently. Relatable stories. From Manson's own failures to historical examples, the lessons are grounded in reality. Short and direct, you can read it in a few sittings, and the ideas stick with you. Criticisms. Of course, no book is perfect. Some readers find the profanity unnecessary or overused. Others argue that many of the ideas, like accepting suffering or focusing on what matters, aren't new, but borrowed from older philosophies like Buddhism or Stoicism. And it's true, the book isn't a step-by-step guide. It's more about shifting your perspective than giving you a daily action plan. But depending on what you're looking for, that may not be a bad thing. Who should read it? This book is perfect for anyone who feels overwhelmed by life, anyone who's tired of chasing constant positivity, or anyone who needs permission to stop caring about what doesn't matter. It's especially helpful for young adults navigating career choices, relationships, and personal identity. But honestly, its lessons apply to everyone. So, what's the subtle art of not giving AF***CK really about? It's not about being careless. It's not about ignoring everything. It's about being selective, choosing wisely where to spend your limited time and energy. It's about embracing the fact that life is full of problems, failures, and pain, and realizing that's okay. Because the struggles you choose define the meaning of your life. Mark Manson's book doesn't promise endless happiness. Instead, it gives you something better: the freedom to live authentically, to set boundaries, and to stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. If you're looking for a brutally honest, refreshing take on self-help, The Subtle Art of Not Giving AF***CK is absolutely worth your time. If you've read this book, let me know your biggest takeaway in the comments below. And if you found this review helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my other deep dive book reviews. Because sometimes, the best wisdom is found not in what we care about, but in what we let go of.